Hello, this is Alert Day Trading. The purpose of this video and the videos I make is to journal my trades, talk about any mistakes that I made, notice good behaviors that I made, definitely trying to duplicate those behaviors. And I just want to talk a little bit about the trades I took and also kind of the emotions I had today. I would definitely say I'm overall trending in the right direction in terms of my trade management and my trade entries, and but I'm not pleased because I am trying to limit myself to one trade per day, and the emotion that I was battling with today was a revenge trading, and that I think is probably one of the biggest obstacles for myself, just because I am trying to stick to this one trade per day rule, and I ended up taking a loss on my first trade, and then I wanted to revenge trade. Now, I wasn't in a rush to get into a trade. I was definitely picky in terms of which trade I was trying to enter, but at the same time I wasn't following my one trade per day rule, and so I'm risking extending my losses of the day, instead of just coming back with a clear mind. I'm entering trades with the idea of, I need to make back the losses that I had, but at the same time, you don't know whether the next trade is going to be a winner or a loser, and you might, double the loss, and then you might want to revenge trade again because you already broke the rule once, so you might as well break it twice. And that's pretty much exactly what happened with me today. So I'm just going to go quickly with the trades I took, and I was looking at GNUS, and I had been following it for the past few days, and I'm really trying to focus on stocks that trade at all-time highs. So if you notice the max chart, there are no levels of resistance over $8, and this morning it was trading at $8, or above it. It, I think, opened at we were at about over $9 this morning. I think we opened at about 950s, and so I was definitely interested in this trade, and I was looking for the break above the $10 mark, and then you can see on the 1 minute chart it worked out really well. So if you took the break above $10 right around here, and then you waited for that first red candle and then the first candle to break the high, which would have been around 1030s, and you would have had a move all the way up to 1170s. I have been shying away from the 1 and the 3 minute charts time frames. The 3 minute also worked out really nicely, and then so I was waiting for the 5 minute pullback. We never got it, and then here's the 5 minute pullback, and this is where my mistake is. So if we take the low of this candle, 870, and go all the way to 1170, that's $3 from the low to the high. So 50% of that is 150. So 1170 minus 150 is 1020, and we had a pullback all the way into almost, right at $10. So that's more than 50% of the move that the pullback had. So I should have not taken this trade, but I was very eager. This big move I thought was definitely possible, would have no resistance, so I took the trade at the break of 1090s, ended up going up to 1130s, and this all happened quite quickly. We had this one candle right here, so we had a quick push, and then right away we had a pullback, and it was struggling to hold above $11, and then quickly we had a big red candle, and I was actually really curious as to what happened. And if you look at the news, so here we're entering around 6:50, and then 7 o'clock, 7, so about, between 6:50 in the morning, or 9:50 in the morning, to about 10 Eastern time. And you'll look at the news here, and you'll see that they are offering registers to offer 60.1 million shares for sale. So that is probably why you saw this huge decline. So, I'm very happy with sticking to my stop loss. I ended up taking a little bit larger loss than I would have hoped. Now, what I should have done, and which I normally do, is I'll raise my stop loss at the low of this candle, but everything was just happening so fast, and I definitely need to act quicker in terms of putting stop losses. I know I've improved on that, but at least raising stop losses, I know what I need to do, and I just need to not overthink it and just react. It would have definitely minimized my losses, because if you're ending up making a new low here, you've already made a lower high, so that is a negative signal. So you probably should exit the trade soon. So that was my first loss. If you have any questions about that, definitely let me know. And then I ended up taking a few more trades. Like I said, I was definitely revenge trading. The next trade I ended up taking was AAL, and you can see I had a nice big run up, and I think if I ended up trading the 3-minute chart, we just didn't get the volume to push it back higher up. I think I took some profits on this one. I might not have. I was hoping for at least a 1530s range, and we only got up to 1510s. I actually did take, or I kind of took a small profit in 1490s, just because I noticed we were struggling to break above this 1510 range, so about here. And then I ended up stopping out, taking a very small loss on this trade. So definitely a better trade management here, but we also didn't just have a big flush, so it was a lot easier to manage. I think GNUS, if you look at the float, I don't think I can find it here. GNUS is not even on the scans anymore, just because it completely lost a lot of its demand. The float was 76 million shares, so that's not big, but also not very small, but considerably small compared to most stocks out there. So anyway, that's AAL. That was a quick trade I took. So this is where I started to want a revenge trade. So I took a small loss on this. So I was starting to extend my losses on the day. And now I'm really wanting to revenge trade. I ended up taking a trade on TREX. You can see I'm starting to not even pay attention to my overall strategy. So I really look for stocks trading at their all-time highs, and look what I ended up doing. So I ended up taking another small loss, not considerable, but still a loss altogether. So it's still extending my losses a little bit more. And now I'm really wanting to revenge trade even more. And I really liked the risk to reward on this chart, this stock EMAN. Still not really following my rules. So I'm basically just journaling my trades today, speaking to myself about my emotions and trying to put them all together and just kind of, give myself a pep talk. And you can't do this long term if you want to be successful, and you can't expect to get away with it over a long period of time. Now, if I were to look at some positives, the days that I'm experiencing these kinds of emotions are definitely decreasing. I think the last time I had a day like this might have been 2 weeks ago, and it kind of was a multi-day. I would have these days happen multiple times in a week. So I think if I'm minimizing these amount of days, so right now if I keep track, it's probably been almost 2 weeks from bad trade management and not following my rules completely. So just have to keep it in control, keep it in check. I really hope that if you're watching this, you can learn from my mistakes. But anyway, I'll just quickly review the trade I took, and I saw a consolidation right around the 70-cent area. This red line coming from the daily chart. And if I ended up trading, I think the 5-minute time frame here, which is my most preferable time frame. I like the 5-minute the best. 10-minute, not as much, but I still trade the 10-minute. And then anything more than that, I try not to, but I'll do it if it's a really nice setup. So you can see here we had a push up to this red line, pull back, broke through these red lines, pull back, and I figured if we could break through this red line again, we might get a nice push up, which we did. Went from 70 cents to 77 cents. That's 10% right there. I ended up selling through the push and then stopping out with the rest of my position at break even. So this ended up being a nice gain. So I'm still down on the day. I ended up, making up some of my losses. So more manageable loss today than it would have been. But at the same time, if I had just left after that first trade, I wouldn't have taken those 2 losses following that. That did not follow my trade plan in terms of trying to only trade stocks in their 52-week highs or all-time highs. And that's pretty much it. So overall, I've been pleased for the last few weeks. Today, I'm not very pleased with my performance, but I am not going to give up, and I hope that if you're watching this, you can learn from my mistakes. And if you have any questions, let me know. And again, just to remind you, the videos I make are to journal my trades and just kind of go over mistakes I'm making, notice any good behaviors I'm doing, and try to duplicate those. Alright, good luck. Thank you for watching.